Sorry about that.
It's been recorded for personal
Thank you. Reasons, I guess. Personal use. Thank you. I couldn't think of a good word. Personal record, personal archiving, whatever.
So behind you, I have Hinkle Road is listed there as T433. The property to the left, or to the right of the traffic circle, the first large property, is owned by a gentleman, last name of Martin, and then, which is a preserved farmland. That property just recently was sold to him, or he purchased it. The next property owner, I've reached out to all these property owners in this area, Weavers, everybody that owns property along Hinkle Road that would be not disrupted, but would be affected by this, to try to have a discussion on possibly realigning to have Hinkle come out to the traffic circle here and possibly hook up on landings over here. We had several scenarios from Hanover in the past.
I have those with me.
Yeah, I have them.
Oh, you have them too?
Here, yeah.
Okay.
Let's see if I can find it.
And this got on the agenda because the gentleman.
So the property that is located, I believe around this area, there's a potential subdivision coming in because the storage units want to place more storage facility here in the form of a parking lot or something of that nature. So this gentleman that owns the preserve farm said, hey, you might want to strike on this while they're looking to do something with the subdivision. I can't remember if it was here or if it was back here.
Well, Rissers is not preserved, correct?
Right, this one is not preserved. This
So
one
they're
is
not, but as far as we know, the storage facility is not speaking to Rissers, or we're not sure where he's speaking to?
I'm not sure who he's talking to at this
Okay.
point. This guy, it might have been Rissers, and I'm wondering if it's not this property right here. But this gentleman, Martin, said, look, you might, I'm open to suggestions. I'm open to this, to talking about it. He said, I just want to know what I'm getting in return, or if it's equal, or is it more. He said, I just want to see a drawing with numbers and exactly what the board would potentially like to place here. I did advise everybody in the letter that this is just a pure discussionary meeting, that that they would be kept in the loop. This Martin gentleman wanted to know what the next step is from here, so I invited everybody here tonight. So
Good job, Jack, prepping Mr. Martin.
I knew pressure was not the answer with him.
he said, my son has been talking to Jack, and he said, I agree something needs to be done. He said, I'm just not,
Okay.
I just don't want to say, yes, I'm going to do this without seeing the plan. Now,
Sure.
Randy had another scenario, and I could try to find that.
I think that one didn't include landings. Is that?
Well,
me
and
see
that
if I
was,
can-
it might have been the issue where it just went straight across. It was option B.
It's been a long time since I opened this file, so give me a second here. Wait, getting closer here. Here we go.
So here it is.
I have this. I don't know.
Right,
Yeah, there you
right.
go.
The gentleman said option B in the blue here was not something he was interested in doing.
Can't say I blame him.
He said if anything happens, he would be glad to assist in any way he could on A, but he said he felt that this would make his property an odd shape to either rent out or to calculate how much is in this portion versus this one.
Well, and to me, and I don't have the measurements, but option B looks the same amount of road frontage as
Current.
what is currently there.
Right.
So the goal, or at least maybe some of what we might be able to stand on to,
And it doesn't catch this.
it doesn't catch that, but I'm thinking of just the sheer fact that this is preserved, we're actually turning more land back to farmland
He
with
felt
A
this
than B.
weird curve also was probably not a good idea. I said it was just obviously a preliminary, very crude
Yeah.
sketch of just off the top of our heads. I said we do have a new engineer now that might have a different take on this completely. But this seemed like something, we're just basically,
Did anybody else besides Mr. Martin talk to you or contact you?
I had not heard from anybody else.
Okay.
But option A, correct me if I'm wrong, we would only be impacting Mark.
And Risser.
And this gentleman here, we would be taking this, putting Hinkle here.
And that
and
rest of
out.
his piece there.
Mhm. But this is not preserved,
Yeah.
so,
And does Weaver own both sides of landings there?
I believe he does.
Okay.
Or
Or is that owned by whomever the basketball guy was?
Now some kind of volleyball place, it just sold.
To somebody, so it's owned by somebody
Yeah,
privately
I
now?
think it is
I mean,
now.
obviously
Yeah.
Weaver's is private too, but,
I believe this little triangle here was Weaver yet.
okay.
There was something over here, but Weaver had, when we were doing like the traffic light discussion up here and asking when he was doing more land development plans up here, we had been talking about like, you know, he said, I'll be glad to help or do whatever needs to be done.
So, right-
So I don't think he'll be an issue.
Right now,
This is
so
one
most
section
of the
we have an issue with.
most of the traffic from, most of the traffic from that whole sports complex comes out up there.
Right here, yep. It backs up
Yeah,
into, yeah, it backs up everywhere.
right. And this would put,
Even on, it's not even when there's
not even when
something
there's
going
games.
on, it's
Oh, I
just
know.
to try to get out on Monday
Yeah.
and Friday in the morning, and back behind there's gonna be more development in
Right.
North London.
listen,
so,
yeah, I mean, shoot, it's been years now, but when my daughter played over there, I was wondering about that left turn there. I hated that turn.
We looked into
But-
putting a right turn lane here, but the road was not wide enough.
But that would move,
We could,
that would theoretically move a fair amount of the traffic down into the circle. Ish.
if we did this correctly and made these like one-way streets and forced them to come out here, yes.
Yeah, do we wanna do that? I mean, I'd like to hear from the engineer on this. And,
Well,
and,
I mean, that would be okay, but PennDOT's gonna determine a lot of what we can and can't do out here.
right,
I mean, like, you'd think it'd be logical to have like a no left turn coming off a
yeah.
airport to force them in, but some of that's gonna be dictated by them.
Yeah, I mean, I think,
I think option A is the only reason.
actually, I think, I was actually,
So what you're saying is option A is where the red line from the curve is going, right? So you're going to have to take some of that land from the house that's there. Are you not? Because that curve goes right by that home,
This home?
Where's the home?
Or
right
this-
there.
Here?
I guess, okay.
The home is here. This
Yeah, the home is
the-
there where our farm is.
Right.
right,
There's okay, so are you going to be taking some of that land from her?
No,
Not
I
on
think
this
we're,
side,
we'd
so
be
it
on
would
the
be over
Risser
here, it would be
side.
on this side of the farm.
Okay.
It would be in
And
line
then
with,
how are you going to, and you're saying you're going out by Landings, isn't Landings there by the dance studio?
Yes.
yes,
Okay,
this is the
So
library, right?
the dance
Yeah.
studio's
Right.
here.
And the library's here.
okay.
and Lanny's just,
It's a
It's a
cul-de-sac right
it's,
now.
yeah, it just
Yeah.
ain't, right?
Well, it's kind of not here.
Dead end.
Yeah, it didn't, that's what I would more describe it as, yeah. I was gonna ask you guys what you, I mean, you're right here,
I know, I'm
so
just,
what do you,
well,
what are your thoughts?
going out Hinkle Road is like taking your life in your hands, you know?
Well,
And
it-
I never could
yeah.
understand why they didn't do that in the first place when they made the circle.
It was Bill's fault.
No, it's not their fault.
Nah, it's,
Let me tell you, it's not Bill's fault. And Airport Road, so what are you going to do with Airport Road? It's still gonna be very congested there.
Talking about, the possibility of not allowing turns out of the airport. That
We
would,
would-
put them all through the,
We would do what we could but like I said, we're connected to a PennDOT road, it's their rules.
yeah.
I mean, they wouldn't even let us put in a right turning lane right now, correct?
They wouldn't even let us
It would
stripe
not
it.
fit, no.
Oh, it wouldn't fit. Okay.
They said if a tractor trailer came in and tried to make a left off of 117, there would not be enough room.
Well,
Or
when
to
you,
get in
when you
or
make a
out.
right off airport, you have to be able to maintain your same lane. Like you're not technically allowed to cross.
And they will probably require you to increase the size of the circle.
I would think.
Yeah.
I wish you could teach people how to yield at that circle.
Yeah.
That's built.
The other option is putting another.
That is
traffic
Hershey
circle.
sits the, you see where they sit their
Yes.
officers?
We don't really have enough room.
Yeah, there's not enough
But it
room up there.
doesn't fix the weird
Well,
intersection. here at
regardless,
Hinkle.
even if we put even in long year planning, right, 10-year planning, 20-year planning, whatever it might take, even if you were to put a traffic circle up at Airport Road, I still feel that option A needs to happen. There should be a second exit out of that conglomerate, which is no longer an industrial park.
I
Right,
agree.
It's not even close, nor will it ever be. I mean,
Right.
there's a restaurant in there, obviously not functioning right now, but
Library.
a library,
Yeah.
a dance studio, a laser factory,
Consignment
baseball
shop,
fields. I
yeah.
mean, there's just, that's not industrial in any way, shape, or form.
And you're
So-
talking about a subdivision, are you talking about homes in that
No.
area?
No,
No.
more storage facilities.
Oh, more storage units, okay.
They actually were just talking about putting like a cement pad for
Alright.
RV parking or RV storage.
Okay.
I mean, I think we should take it, you know, what's the next step, getting the engineer to look at it?
Well, I think the next step would be to have them do a extremely simple plan, because what he wants to know is acreage. How much is he gonna lose, how much he's gonna get?
Right,
Because, I mean, he's by far gonna be, even if he's willing, that'll be by far the most difficult piece of the puzzle to obtain.
Most impacted, yeah.
And most impacted, and especially with it being preserved, so I would say we get Frank to, as simple as possible,
Convert that,
overlay it, show the acreage, you know, that cost, and if Kurt and Mr. Martin's okay in theory, then we could,
and we could move on to the 7
Yes,
pieces that need to be
Right.
filled out to take to
the farm preservation.
the ACEPALE.
Say that to
Not sure what that stands for, but, yeah. All right, so was that a motion?
I would make that a motion.
Okay, do I have a second?
a second.
Do I have any questions?
Are all the roads gonna be two-way streets, or were you talking about some of them being one-way streets?
I think that's what we have to have the engineer take I do think they need to take a look at that too, how much traffic, and what the pattern.
So the motion was to have the engineer kind of drop a very simple sketch with
For now.
potential.
To give Mr. Martin an idea
Yeah.
of what acreage
And I think
will
that's
be
part of,
lost
farther down the
gain.
road conversation.
Just out of curiosity, did you have an opinion, Ed, or?
No, I was just wondering.
I don't know how you could make one way off a circle.
Right.
That doesn't make any sense.
No.
But
No, I think Chad was talking like
I
inside
meant
there to kind
inside the
of push
development
it.
here, if you come in here, this would be one way going in, and then you would have to come out this way.
Yeah, I think that's farther down the
Okay,
road.
well, we'll
for them
have to-
look at. I think
yeah.
this is just initial, you know,
okay,
to see if this is even, right,
yeah,
doable with
to
him.
see if Mr. Martin would agree to it first, because
Yeah.
then we'd have to jump through the next 7 steps to
Steps,
see if we
right.
could even
Do it.
get approval, and then we could go to the other property owners. And then it's still a matter of PennDOT and money, and there's a lot of,
Yeah.
Yeah, this
But
is, right.
it would be
But
nice to at least
it's
start
good
a
to start this
conversation.
and see if we can,
Get past that preservation hurdle at this point is,
Yes,
we can't do anything without,
that.
right.
All right, any other questions? Okay, then I have a first and a second. You have something?
I just, you know, like your thoughts in general are, you know, at least explore it.
No, I was just kind of looking at it, trying to figure out if, you know, when you come out Hinkle now, instead of making the turn there going straight, if that would be, you know, one way out, or the other one way out, and the other way, one way in, or how you were gonna do it.
This one?
No,
Oh.
if you come down the red line,
Here.
and then, yeah, and then if you go all the way down, like coming out Landings, that would be one way out, and then the right turn there would be one way in. I didn't know if that's what you were gonna do or not.
I think that's a down the road conversation, so.
I don't know that you'd, yeah, it'd definitely be down the road, but I don't know that you'd want to restrict it anywhere, right? I mean, we want the traffic to flow better in
Right.
through there would be, but I'm not an engineer, I just think it's so congested in there. The more outs we have and,
Bill, Bill, conceptually, you're okay
Yeah,
with looking at it?
I'm thinking from our standpoint.
That's what I was
Obviously,
asking.
we're dealing with a hazardous intersection, but at this point, connecting it to Landings is going to mean we're going to be dealing with a lot more traffic at a lot of different times. So it's probably a trade-off for us, you know. And of course, you realize that all the Palm City traffic travels this route.
Yeah,
all the time.
from the,
The thing of it is, they use that road as a speedway.
they use Hinkle as, or, okay.
Yeah, it's, you wouldn't believe how fast they go down that road. I mean, I can't walk on that road.
I would walk on any roads anywhere.
No, but I'm serious, you know, on my
I
property,
get what you're
I
saying.
cannot walk down to the creek and back, even on my road, without almost being hit. That's how bad it is on that road.
yeah, I noticed that when Bill was so kind to let us use the building over there, that it was hard pulling out at times.
All right, so I have first, second, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, so moving on then to Annville Township Fire Police request.
In your packet, you received a letter from Annville Township Police requesting that the fire police assist them with the Memorial Day Parade to be held on May 26th of 2018.
Motion approved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Just out of curiosity,
Insurance.
okay,
They
I'm
have
like,
to- they have to
how
we-
often, I don't remember ever approving
Only when they're, I mean, emergencies, they don't have to, obviously,
Okay.
but non-emergencies.
Non-emergent, okay.
They have to.
Thank you. You knew that was coming, huh?
Yeah, I did.
All right, any questions? All right, thank you. All those in favor? Aye. So sewer planning module,
Commissioner, thank you for coming.
so Jenna, do you mind taking this one? And
Not at all.
I'm just kind of wondering, again, why it's coming to us and not the
Yes,
sewer department,
just
but,
because it needs, this is an actual on-lot sewer.
does it go before the,
It'll go to the planning commission meeting. I just figured I'd catch you guys first and then have it approved. The subdivision has not been approved yet.
And it's kind of strange, like the sewer authority, like, really has nothing to do with on-lot systems.
Yeah, this is,
okay,
Other
now I'm
than
following,
With
okay.
their Act 537 plan, they have to create these sewer districts and zones, but once it's out of the sewer district, then the sewer authority has
Has no-
nothing.
okay.
Has no authority, no anything.
Okay. So, do we need
I need
one
a
motion to
just
approve this?
have you sign the documents. Wait a minute. Yes, you do need to
Yeah.
sign as chairman, or I could sign as secretary. I just need authorization to sign the paperwork
Okay,
when it's completed, or with the condition that the planning commission also approve it at their next meeting. I just wanted to catch this meeting, otherwise I had to wait for another month. And what do I have?
Well, Jack, it looks like your name's on here, so,
I saw that. I didn't know how
So
you
you-
got on there at all.
there you go.
And Cecil's with an S, another.
It's all sorts of, yeah. Okay, well, so do I have a motion to approve this, conditional that all is well with the planning commission approval?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, any questions? All right, all those in favor? Aye. And then moving on to lawn fire department driveway.
So, we received an email about there is a pipe that goes under the driveway for lawn fire company. Got an email from Jim Hess asking if there was any way that the township could assist in excavating for the pipe, that the fire company would purchase the pipe. Their thought was that it comes out of taxpayer money regardless of whether our guys do the work or they hire someone else to do the construction of it, or just to excavate the pipe and replace it. So I just wanted to bring it before the board to get your take on it.
Yeah, and I think, was it the beginning of this year, we approached PennDOT, or I approached PennDOT asking them questions about it, and they said that it's not their responsibility.
Right, because
And we went back and forth on that, and yes.
any pipe that would go under a PennDOT road would be theirs. Parallel in a driveway, even if it's in the PennDOT right of way, it still would be the homeowner's responsibility to replace the pipe.
Which is all fine and well, except they just installed over 100 feet of it directly across the street, parallel to the street. And his reasoning was because they were getting reports of cars driving into it.
Driving into the swale?
Yeah.
So then they put piping there?
Uh-huh.
to
And then
flush,
paved
make it
over it.
flush, yeah.
No, it's just in the shoulder. It's grass.
So instead of there being a swale, there's a pipe
So
and,
wait, so that's
gravel.
PennDOT's responsibility?
Yeah, that's fine.
Because that's their pipe.
They put it in, that's fine.
And they've known about this issue because we've gotten
It's going on for
emails
years.
about,
It has.
yeah, from PennDOT about it. So I just wanted to bring it before the board to see, we plow each of the fire departments' driveways or parking lots for snow. You know, they are us, we are them, so I
That's not-
just kind of wanted to bring it before the board and
Jack?
discuss it.
It's there's a lot more emails after this that apparently, I don't know if you didn't get copied on or what, but we went back and forth quite a bit with PennDOT. As you can see, one of these is the 17 trees we cut off their road. That's not our problem. We're not the trees on tree service, you know? But we removed it for them, and we went back and forth about the pipe across the street, and he had 1,000 reasons why they did that, but it's not their responsibility, and the whole thing's frustrating, to be honest with you. They have spent more time trying not to do it than if they could have just done it. So they routinely park in the parking lot, they store equipment in the parking lot, that'll all come to an end. They can park it somewhere else. You know, they drive in and out the driveway all the time with the trucks, but they're not willing. Their proposal, PennDOT's proposal was the township to buy the pipe, the fire company to install it, and PennDOT will contribute by providing the necessary signs. No thanks, I have them in the back of my truck.
That's what I.
that's
There's
disheartening.
another issue
When we're putting it
on-
in, work area ahead.
There's also another issue with stormwater going into your sewer lateral at
Yeah,
the fire company there that we need to get fixed, otherwise DEP's gonna come down.
the fire company cambered the line and found nothing, so if the municipal authority has a different opinion, then the municipal authority can camber the fire company's line.
Okay. I will let them know that, because that needs to be addressed.
Okay, so do we have any previous precedent that we've set when something like this happens? Is there anything that we've,
I don't think the township has ever per se done any work at the lawn fire company, you know, to speak of. And they patched some holes beside the building leftover blacktop over the years or something, but I don't think that the township has ever done.
So, from what I'm understanding, we're asking for the labor of the highway department,
Yes.
or the lawn is asking for the labor of the highway department. Okay,
Okay, so,
yes.
no, I'm just thinking, but you just said, so they understand that they won't have use of that lot anymore, PennDOT?
I don't know if the guy that made the decision not to install it does, but the guy that I threw out the parking lot the other day does. I mean, maybe it doesn't matter to them, but to me, that's, they're, once Frank Ryan's office sent the letter, then all of a sudden they were very interested in resolving it, and their solution was to provide 2 signs during construction. But, maybe it doesn't matter to them, but, if we're gonna be good neighbors and work together, like really, that's what they could offer, 2 signs during construction.
Did we ask them if they would provide the labor?
Nobody asked them anything other than for their, assistance.
It's gone too far at
Yeah.
this point.
At this point.
For anybody to be on the property together?
Yeah.
I can understand that.
I don't know. I told our board at the fire company, like, just ask, as a company collectively decide what you wanted to do. If it was up to me, the fire company just put it in and be done with it, and the money comes from the same place, and
That's what I
it
said,
is
it
what it
comes
is.
from us anyway, regardless.
I mean, it's been long overdue.
Probably will come to bite me back, but
I mean, I could talk to Patrick about it and get his take on it, and maybe say that this is a one-time thing, or I'm not
I would-
sure.
Rather do it how we would normally do something like this than,
how would we normally do something like
well, it
this?
sounded like, I'm just going off by what Jack said, like the township has not done this before, right? So, and the money's really, I don't know, it
Would
just
that
seems 6
come-
of one, half dozen of another, right? Like,
Yeah, I mean, the only difference is if they, well, so that it's twofold. I do the work at the fire company, I do not charge. You won't find a bill for any of the, privately services that I've ever provided, other than the trash disposal fee when we built the cooler. So if we do it as the fire company, like, I'll be out there putting it in, and I don't really care at this point, I'll do it that way. But take that out of the picture, like if the fire company's hiring a contractor, the contractor's gonna generate a profit.
right,
If the township does it, theoretically, there'd be no profit. However, it's no secret that a private contractor is working to make profit, and municipalities, work at a different pace, so.
right.
If I had my suggestion, the township could provide the materials, and the fire company could figure out how to put it in that way. There's money in the budget for donation projects outside of the fire tax for both fire companies. That's how I would suggest, but it really makes no difference to me. I have nothing to gain or lose from it either way, other than the same thing that every other taxpayer does.
Right.
I just want to solve a problem. And I don't
It's
think,
just so infuriating. I mean, PennDOT has gone to every ounce of effort not to do anything with it, when, I mean, the amount of time they sit parked in that parking lot, they could have put it in. That's the frustrating part, but, hey.
Okay. Do we have an idea of what it's gonna cost, material-wise?
I'm trying to think of what we spent on Carriage Park for the pipe replacement. I think the pipe was only $800.
Yeah, it's
And I
like
think
80,
this is a
usually
lot
the-
it's like
wider.
82 feet, it's 800, it'll be
Do we need-
800, $1,000 a pipe, and it's gonna take 5-6 loads of stone, so it's gonna be, it's gonna cost $2,500 in
I was
materials.
gonna say it was about $2,200 total. for
Do we
us.
need permitting or anything from PennDOT to do this? You can just,
They'll provide the legally required signs.
yes. Okay, can we, I'm sure we can find $2,500 in our fire
They
budget
have
somewhere.
the $30,000 per fire department
Right.
that we did the donation on,
Yeah.
or the contribution that they can spend, but they haven't provided us receipts.
Mhm.
They just used it for their, SCBA
Yeah.
year.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that seems to me to be the way to go, because both fire companies have that, so they can,
Well, what that brings
Right.
me back to, would that go in front of the fire board?
No, I don't think we have any, I mean, the only mechanism
No,
that
that is
fire
not
board is
fire
fire
money,
tax
that
money.
was money that the township
Donated.
set aside for each
Right.
of them if they,
Okay.
if they needed to do
All right,
projects.
I'm just trying to think of it at every
Yeah.
angle, so that way it doesn't come back and, why did you do that? All right, well, then I'll make a motion to approve purchasing the items needed to replace the pipe and the stone. Do I need to put in a not to exceed number?
I guess my question is, do you need a motion to do that?
Yeah, because it's gonna come out of our budget.
Okay,
And
even though
it's-
it's already allocated, like the 30.
Everything in the budget is allocated.
And
but-
especially if
Yeah, I got
it's
it.
the donated items, they have
That's
to
fine.
come and ask for.
Couldn't hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to make sure.
And then have them find a contractor to replace.
Yes. Not to exceed $3,000? Is that fair? Do we not need I feel better if we had an
I think
exceed.
3,000 is fine.
For
The big problem is
materials.
it's gonna be paved, that's the number that's not in there.
Okay,
So what materials are we supplying? Stone, the pipe, and paving material? And then leave out the not to exceed?
I would.
okay, will you change it to that, Jenna? Okay, do I have a second to that effect?
Second.
Questions? Concerns?
Just so it's on the public record. I most likely will be the one installing it. I have never been paid a penny, nor will I be paid a penny. If the taxpayers would like, we can hire a contractor and pay them, but I would get
You're
very
doing
well
it as donating to
to the fire.
the fire company?
Yeah, like when we did all the work on the cooler, when Township doesn't plow the snow, I plow the snow.
Okay,
So just so it's on
duly noted.
public record, should someone call,
Yep.
I'm not being compensated. And if they would like to, we can hire a contractor that will be compensated.
She's running out of paper room there. Okay. All those in favor? Aye.
Jack, are you abstaining?
I have no gain in it, so I guess I don't need to.
Okay.
I will if anybody thinks I should.
No, again, it's,
No.
you're doing it on the fire company end, so. Okay, moving on to old business, HVAC update.
I don't have an update. I
Ah,
thought I would have
bummer.
something today. Yeah, I had an email that I was copied on from James Miller saying, do we have a date yet? And I don't have any date from Mid-State as far as their engineer coming to complete the work.
Okay.
So as soon as I have that, I will email it to the board.
Okay, and moving on to good and welfare, I had a question. Fire company monies, I'm just questioning, the reserve fund that they have. Is there any reason or thought behind spending it all? I've been hearing rumors that people in fire companies are thinking that the reserve fund has to be spent or they'll lose it. I am not under that impression in any way, shape, or form.
That was never
Okay,
put
just,
out there.
all right, I'm just trying to see if there's anything that I'm
They should have
missing.
it earmarked to.
Yeah, the only time that I know that discussion ever surfaced was, there was no plan.
That's
Yes.
what I
You
was
know,
just getting to say, that you
Yeah,
have to
there was
have it earmarked for.
there was no plan.
Okay.
I mean, there was a plan within the individual companies, but there was no recorded, approved replacement schedule, budget that showed, just
Right.
like we do with.
Right.
Okay, and that's what
I
we've
did
been
have a
working on trying to do.
Yep, I did have a
Okay.
conversation, was it with you and, oh my gosh, who was the conversation with? And I said, it really should be earmarked for something, otherwise we're just swirling this money away and we're raising more tax revenue and just throwing it on top of it.
Right.
With no plan, and I said, we really need to have some kind of a savings plan or a replacement plan, but I
Yeah.
think we have
That was my
now.
response when I heard it. I just wanted to make sure I was on the same
No.
page, that I wasn't
You might
missing
have had
anything.
that with Barry or Chris, because I know it came up at our executive board that they would like to take some of the reserve money and put it on the first payment of the tanker.
Well, that was the other thing that they came to me also and said, the motion for the truck, I thought, was that the fire company was gonna be paying 50% and the board was, or the tax money was gonna be paying for the other 50%. Now they're looking for that reserve money to make the payment, their portion of the 50% or a portion of the 50%. And I said I didn't see a problem with that, but that should have been the motion, you know.
When approving the
originally. It just
truck.
said we're gonna put 25, the tax money's gonna pay for the other 25, and the board's gonna pay, yeah. It just felt like, I don't know, something got left out there.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I was not
So the
saying
reserves
incorrect
gonna,
information.
It should be earmarked, but I think we're at that point now, we're working on these plans, and I said that it would be irresponsible for us to continue to raise revenue or collect tax money when we have a substantial amount set
Sure.
aside.
That's the same thing we've done with the budget over the last couple of
Yes.
years. They
Yep.
can't just have that 1 point whatever sitting there without
Right.
being earmarked, yes. Okay. Any other good and welfare out there? Anyone have anything?
This is one of Mr. Martin's sons. Did you have any? We kind of got through it
Yeah, I
before you.
took notice that you probably did.
Yeah.
Sorry I was late, I just got back and it didn't suit my dad, so. What you, I mean?
The motion that was made was to ask our engineer to create a general sketch, including acreage lost, acreage gain,
Right.
you know, on a plan to provide to you guys to review and
Okay,
see if that.
yeah, really just to make sure we can get you the right information.
right.
So it's just, that's it.
Wasn't a lot when they were that.
No, we made a motion to get you a somewhat formal plan, that this is, you know, this was our proposal, and, you know, see if it was something you might be agreeable to, and then we'd proceed from there.
Yeah.
And what was your name, I'm sorry?
My name's Derwin Martin.
Okay.
There's a list that would come next on what needs to be done to potentially ask for that to happen. There's
Okay.
7 different bullet points that would have to be done.
Okay.
One of those is that the landowner is allowing this to happen.
Right.
And
So,
then at the farmland preservation.
yes, and if you want us to get you that, we can get you a copy of what
Yeah.
that is, so that
Sometime, once you
when we get it all together,
Yeah.
we'll put that in there with it
then we
for
can
you.
Look it over and
Sure.
go from there.
Yes.
We do appreciate you at least, you know, coming and taking a look and considering this, we really do, so. We thank you for that. I mean, we know it's not done, but
Right.
thank you for at least
Entertaining it.
entertaining it.
All right, anything else? All right, so we have our next regular supervisor meeting, May 14th, with a workshop potentially May 29th. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
We also are
Oh,
going into
oh,
executive
yes,
session.
we're gonna have an executive session right after this for personnel issues. Now do I have a motion to adjourn from someone?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, meeting adjourned. Thank you all.
Thanks for coming out.
Thank you.
Hey, Pat.
No one
Pat.
have that then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good enough.
At least give me an opportunity to say no.
Yeah. Good job.
At least give me the opportunity to say no.
Yeah,
I came here to tell you we don't want to do it.
I changed my mind. I changed my dad's mind.
I knew pressure was not the answer.
Well, good job. Whatever you did,
They were
good job.
awfully wishy-washy the first time around. Like, he was like adamant against it. I don't think.